I'm here with my buddy Philip Williams, and I'd like to encourage you to watch the Phil Williams Show, and you can go to patriotinsights.com.
All right. Appreciate you.
Oh, yeah.
It is that time for my response to a tweet. And today's tweet says, what do you expect from a man? What do you expect a man to do with this rigged system? We should stick up for conservatives. What do you expect a man to do with this rigged system? We should stick up for conservatives. Well, like I said, I know I've been away for a minute, but I'm hearing everybody, and Donald Trump is just now taking on this platform thing of the system is rigged. And now this obvious Trump person is saying I should be sticking up for a conservative. For some odd reason, I can agree with half of them. We should be sticking up for a conservative. And I believe that's why we are voting for Ted Cruz, because we're sticking up for a conservative. But here's the part that's funny about Donald Trump and this new rigged system thing. Because if you guys be honest, and I know it's going to be difficult for these wayward Trump supporters to be, but if this guy was winning everything by a landslide, you would not even hear the word rigged. You never heard the word rigged until he started getting his butt handed to him. And his little small hands couldn't do his little finger thing that he does, and he couldn't point his way away from it, and he couldn't. When was the last time you heard him say "Make America Great Again"? Because it's not working. We're on to you. But here's my bigger response to your tweet. One, if the shoe was on the other foot, we wouldn't be hearing this. Not a word. Never heard the word rigged. But here's the bigger thing. Donald Trump is rigging the system. And he's doing it with emotions and the stupidity of the American voter. His supporters. He thinks Cruz supporters or everybody else is stupid. This is what's happening with Donald Trump, people. You ready? Who are the ones who's always whining about fair? Who are the ones that's always playing the victim? Who are the ones that's always whining about something? It's liberals. What's happening with Donald Trump is what happens when a liberal is trying to convince you that he's conservative. The biggest mistake that is made in this whole thing is the Republican National Committee, Rush Limbaugh, other conservative people that have earned people's trust, not calling Donald Trump what he is. He's a liberal. He's whining and moaning and crying like a liberal. He's trying to create some new kind of form of affirmative action. If he was black, he would swear up and down he was Obama too, and you're doing it because he's black. Donald Trump is rigging our system. And he's using emotions and the stupidity of the American voter, the stupidity of the Republican National Committee, to create a certain segment of our society that's running around giving energy to this dumb argument. The system's not rigged. You've never heard conservatives complain about this delegate process, ever. Donald Trump's not coming. He's just a liberal. That's all. This is what happens when your wolf is trying to put on sheep's clothes and it don't fit. So now he has to use the emotions. How does jihad work? It's a very, very, very small percentage of Islam, right? So we don't paint the whole Islamic faith with this, right? But it just so happens that the small percentage of people that are jihadists and have this radical ideology totals the number of Americans that we have. So all it takes is one or two to come in and wreak havoc, right? The same thing is happening with our electoral process. It's a very small amount of Donald Trump supporters. They happen to be the couple million that he's bragging about. Democrats that can sign a piece of paper and come over and vote in a Republican primary. They're not conservatives. They're not Republicans. That's why Donald Trump is rigging this system, getting the American people to vote into this silly notion that whoever has the majority going into the convention, whoever has the most should get, versus 50% plus one. He's rigging our system with emotions and dumb arguments. And because you guys built this monster, he's getting away with it. So what, Rush Limbaugh, if I hear you one more damn time quote this thing, and then say your little panty-waisted argument that you're not endorsing Trump, and every time I say something, I mean, shut up, dude, he's a liberal. That's what you need to say. He's a liberal. Leave Donald Trump alone. Let him have New York and all of his liberal Democrats. Let him have it. He's a liberal. Stop trying to make the argument that 50% more, 69% of the people say that whoever has the most should get the nomination. That's not the rules. Stop saying it. It's not the rules. Educate people if they want to act stupid. But I'm telling you, Donald Trump does not have the support that you think he has. What he has is a percentage of Americans that's willing to go out there and wreak havoc like a jihad on our election process. And if only takes one or two to wreak havoc, Donald Trump has them. Some liberals who have been practicing on doing what? Destroying the Republican Party. Now they got an inside man, and his name is Donald Trump. And now he's whining like a liberal, complaining like a liberal, it's unfair like a liberal, everything's like a freaking liberal. He's not a Republican, he's not a conservative. So if you guys jam this dude up, the only people that's going to be ticked off are the liberals that's supporting him. Republicans, you have to see that this dude is rigging our system to where he will get your emotions to have you overturn something you've never heard conservatives complain about. Only sissified liberals. Donald Trump cannot fight. Anybody can whoop Donald Trump's tail. Take his Gestapo people away from him, he will get slapped just like anybody else. He is not superhuman, people. This guy is not Thor. He can't even pick up a regular hammer, let alone the one that he's busting you guys up the head with his mouth. Donald Trump is all mouth, all media, all the time, always whining, always crying. This is all this man has. He thought he was going to trick you guys into giving him 1237, and when he realized he couldn't get it, he said the system's rigged. This guy is rigging the system. And if you fall for it, kiss America goodbye. Because all he's interested in is his good old friend Hillary winning the presidency. Let that dude, man, do what you gotta do to stop Donald Trump. He's not a Republican. You are not beating up your own. Just own up to the mistake that you made in letting this wolf come into our house and wreak this kind of havoc. Period. Donald Trump is a punk. And anybody that falls for it is either a liberal or just dumb as hell. Let them have New York. But New York, trust me, if you don't want de Blasio on steroids, there is no home field advantage. Vote for Cruz. But trust me, guys, the system's not rigged. Donald Trump is rigging our system. And if it was rigged, own up to it. It's Donald Trump's big money that rigged it. He wasn't complaining when he was winning. And the liberals, his fan base, is those extra millions of votes. They were never going to vote Republican. And Donald Trump was never going to win. Never Trump, people. Never Trump. Hey, I'm Phil Williams. That's my response to a tweet on the Phil Williams Show.